All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EFRL Modified Madness here on Tuesday nights. We're supposed to be having a special guest up in the booth tonight. We'll see if he's able to get in. Heat race number 1 is gridding up. All right, starting on the front row, we got Ray Andrews and Mr. Jason Smith. Let's see if we can get a better picture of their cars here. Here we go. Jason Smith on the outside. Row number 2, Tom Quiring and Benson Weaver. And Fitz Baker if they make the grid. There's the 44 of, Fitz Barker. Looks like Mr. Weaver missed the grid. So we will have 4 cars running with us here this evening. Not quite sure why our overlays aren't working quite right. But Ray Andrews is going to read us to the green flag here tonight from Lucas Oil Speedway. Very fast Lucas Oil Speedway. Probably one of my favorite tracks. We'll see guys running a little bit different lines from one end of the track to the other. You got to be careful if you're running that high groove. It does flatten out up there, and you can jump that flat spot and end up going off track and losing your position. Green flag is in the air. Tom Quiring all over the back bumper of Ray Andrews, looking to make a move on the high side. Ooh, a little contact is made as Smith powers to the front. Ray Andrews is going to fall back to second, with Tom Quiring right all over his back bumper, and then we got Barker in the 44 running in fourth. Ooh, Tom throws it in deep, gets right on the back bumper of Quiring. Now he's going to try the bottom side underneath Andrews. Not able to get anything going. He gets a good run going in, but unable to keep up with the momentum that the 88 is laying down on the way out. Smith is walking away from this one. Five laps to go. Working on trying to get these overlays working. Right now, Ray Andrews is continuing to run second, holding off Tom Quiring in that 46 car, as Jason Smith continues to lay down some blistering laps in that number 8 car. That's going to do it for heat race number 1. Smith, Andrews, Quiring. Heat race number 2 is on deck. We're going to have 3 cars in heat race number 2. Starting on the inside of row number 1, we're going to have Jake Mackey in that 199 car. Outside of him, Hunter Wellman been running pretty strong. Row number 2, we're going to have Ryan Phillips in the 27 car. Make sure to cheer on your favorite drivers this evening. They always appreciate that. All right. Our special guest tonight, Mr. Farron Elam Jr. How you doing, Farron?
You know, I'm doing all right. I wouldn't say it's a huge special guest, but I'm happy to be here.
Did you get a chance to watch that first heat race?
Did not. I'm a little late getting here. Trying to get everything working on my end, and then I'll be. But I do plan on being in for feature. I'm getting there now, so.
All right. For heat
Miss any
race.
action?
Oh, actually, we had a really good race. The number 8 of Smith won with Ray Andrews holding off Tom Quiring in second. Green flag is in the air. We're going to go down into turn number 1. We got the 199 of Jake Mackey down low and Hunter Wellman up high. Hunter's been pretty fast this season. He's going to challenge down on that low line as Mackey is right up on the cushion. They're going to drag race side by side down the back straightaway going into turns 3. That top line is so fast here tonight. Have you had a chance to turn many laps at Lucas Raceway?
I've not actually taken any laps. Tonight's wheeling race will be the first laps I have turned at this track. I actually just got it for tonight. And yeah, I do have a little bit of experience running these cars. However, I ran a few races in another series. Very heavy, not really my cup of tea. I prefer the late models, but there are guys who are extremely talented in these, um, much like the ones we're watching tonight in the feature, who I'm sure will put on a great show. It's just not my thing. I don't mind racing dirt and love watching it, and we'll race it on occasion, but not in these. Just not my style.
Ooh, the 199 of Mackey jumps to the top of the corner and ends up losing 2 spots. Hunter Wellman's going to take over the lead, at least temporarily. That 64 car of Wellman is really quick tonight. Last week he come up just short, finishing second in the feature, but he's been putting together some good runs and a great season.
Yeah, and you know, I've run some officials, especially in the limited lates and the uh, super lates occasionally. It's really hard to contend with somebody who can wrap the bottom really well, and if they're patient enough to run it and can run it good, it's really hard to compete. The bottom is not always going to be the dominant line on dirt, and honestly, it's more of an impressive feat to be able to wrap the bottom consistently lap after lap to me than it is to run the outside. I prefer the outside up there where you see them running now. But it is, like you said earlier, when the 199 jumped the cushion, it is a very thin line to walk up there. And if you overstep, it will get out from under you quick and can tear up the car and really ruin your race.
Yep, and with these ones with having that open front end, it doesn't take much to bust up some good equipment.
Yeah, and you really got to be careful on entry. I've seen a lot of guys and officials, and I've done it myself a lot. Even with the late models, having the closed front end, if you tap the wall, you can really knock a tire out of alignment, or knock the camber out of it, and it really can affect your car. I mean, while it might not end your day completely, it will definitely make the car harder to handle and cost you a few spots later down the road.
Very true, very true. Well, we're going to get ready to grid up for our feature event here this evening. So where they finished in their heat races is where they're going to start on their in the main. And so on the front row, we're going to have Jason Smith and Hunter Wellman, our heat race winners. Row number 2 is going to be Ray Andrews and Ryan Phillips. Row number 3 is Tom Quiring, Jake Mackey, and then we're going to have Fitz Barker and Benson Weaver on the last row.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Some of these guys, I don't run this series full time. I'm part time on Tuesdays with these guys, and thankfully tonight my schedule has allowed me to be here. I believe that Hunter has run a race with us on Monday, however, so I do have a little bit of time around him on the track. And what little bit of time I had around him on the track is very clean, but he's also very smooth and very fast. So it'll be interesting to see if he can hold on to it from the front row.
Yeah, Hunter's one of those kids. He's a newcomer to the season, to the series, at least on Tuesday nights. But he's ran with me on Thursday nights before, and he's always put on a pretty good show. So, Farron, do you know someone who's goes by the name Baloney Square?
I do. That is that is actually one of my spotters that usually helps me on Monday.
He just
He's a big follower. He's been watching me for years.
popped up in chat that said you're his hero.
Yeah, I don't know about Hero. He's spotted me to a lot of wins. He was
All right,
a
drivers, the
spotter for
initial
half the
start
season that
is
I won the
on the
title
green
when we did late
flag.
model
Any
stocks a
restarts
few years
from
back.
there
Him and
will be
actually
on
Brandon, the
leader
guy that's on our
at
team
the
on Monday.
exit
So
of turn 4.
really cool that he's stuck with me for a while. He's been with me for a few leads, so it's nice to have some people that tune in every week.
That is pretty cool. All right, we're gonna go green coming out of turn 4. Our initial start's gonna be on the green flag. After that, we're gonna be on the leader. Good side by side start. Oh, we got some
It did not
contact.
get going.
No, we got. I think he caught
Oh,
the.
it's still around. Yeah, I think he might have caught the tire, maybe,
That's
or caught the berm on the bottom, for sure. Tire
yeah.
doesn't look out of a well. Yeah, he's definitely not something out of that
Yep.
front light. Go back and see what I can see. Well, no, I don't think he caught nothing. I think he got in there and he was in the slick, and usually you get all four tires. Even if you just get three tires in the slick down there, it can and really get out from under you really quick under throttle, and maybe just try to get back in the gas a little too soon or a little too hard, and it stepped out from under him and kind of made him jump out of the gas, and the guys behind him had nowhere to go.
Definitely not the start that the number 8 car is looking for.
And that's the thing is we see these guys run the bottom more, and I'm sure the 64 will go down there a little bit once he gets the opportunity to. The more they run down there, the more slick it gets. It's going to become harder and harder to really run it. I won't say perfectly, but with efficiency and good speed. So me personally, I try not to put all four tires down there. There's some guys that can do that. I try to keep the left front, maybe the left rear occasionally, depending on the track. But I'm sure some of these guys tonight who are prolific with dirt can do it. But as it runs, it's just going to get worse and worse down there. And if the 8 car's already having trouble on the restarts, I'd imagine restarts late in this race when it's really rubbered up and slick down there, not going to be fun on the bottom.
Nope. And then you got to watch out for those inside tractor tires. Single file restart. We're back under green. Smith gets a good jump on that restart. Oh, he was able to start up higher out of the slick, so maybe that helped him out.
For sure. He wasted no time in 3 and 4 going to the outside, but right back down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Maybe that's where he feels comfortable once he's up to speed. I know getting up to speed is a little treacherous on restarts for me on dirt, so I can imagine that he's where he's comfortable at, but he's really ripping that top in 3 and 4.
We do have a really good battle heating up for third with Tom Quiring and Ryan Phillips. Tom was all over the back bumper until he jumped the curb just a second ago.
Yeah, Tom, another one of those guys that, raced with us on Monday. Very unfortunate that he has some really tough luck most Mondays, but he's showed some speed here lately and hopefully can get it turned around. Got one on the wall back there, but it looks like he keep it straight. Might have hopped the cushion off of the corner.
Definitely very easy to do with these cars, especially at this track. Jason Smith, he's out into his own zip code now.
Yeah, he's checked out. He's gotten comfortable, and really, and this is from my experience. A lot of times on dirt, if you can just get in a rhythm and get going, and it kind of translates to asphalt too. I'm sure you can attest to that from racing in the other series with us. You really got to get in a rhythm. You get in a caution fest, or you get in something where you're having to start and stop. You really can't be consistent, and you make mistakes. It's a lot harder to really hit your marks when you have to do it repeatedly like that, from pretty much 55, 65, whatever A speed is. So I'm sure that now that he's comfortable, it's going to be hard to catch him. But the 64 did look good in his heat race.
That he did, and the 64 was setting down some of the fastest laps we had of the evening in his heat race. He hasn't quite matched those speeds yet in our A main, but I would watch for him later in the race because you do have to maintain some tire wear cautiousness because you don't want to burn them tires up too quick.
We got one around on the back stretch, the 199 around the one car, not the one car, I apologize. Got caught coming off at 2 there in a three-way battle for the 5th position. Looks like the 88 was wrapping the bottom and just pushed tight off at 2 and ended up collecting him. And once I got the wall, he just went around. Everything looks good though. Doesn't, some fiberglass bent, but wheels all look straight to me.
Yeah, they look like they're all headed in the right direction anyways.
Sometimes you get underneath somebody and you want to just kind of naturally let the car go and not hold it down and force it, with too much steering wheel into it. And that kind of looks what happened there. He just went up, and I'm sure he knew he was out there and didn't mean to get him, but this track looks to be very tight in terms of space to run too wide like that off the corner, and I'm sure that the handling was not what he expected with the car on his outside.
Yep, exactly right. I agree 100%. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, the 199 got the worst end of the deal with these tires sticking out the way they do. They catch that wall pretty good.
Yeah, and really, not only does it damage the tire, but you do run the risk of it. A couple tracks on the sim, you can get into the wall, and it's like you just kind of get stuck to it, and it's really not that it'll damage your tires, although that is an opportunity for it to happen. It's really more of the time you lose. You're going to lose a lot of time, obviously, if you have to check up to get out of the wall. You hope that if you're going to get into it, you just graze it.
Yep. Back under green coming out of 4. That 8 wastes no time jumping to the front. But we got a challenger for second. Ryan Phillips is underneath the 64s. We're going down the back straightaway.
He's going to slide up in front of the 46. 46 might have caught the wall there, but it's just really impressive that the 8, even on that restart there, not really in the higher groove. He had to restart once again on the bottom, and even this time, he got going, fired off a little bit. Maybe he was a little antsy on the initial start, but he's already quickly back out to a decent lead over second place.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that these guys are now battling side by side, too.
And the longer they battle, the more they heat up their tires, and you're going to have less and less time to go run down the 8, who's already putting down some really good laps as it is. And on lap 16 currently out
Oh,
of...
we got one upside down and over he
Oh, we
goes.
got a wheel in the middle of turn 2.
I'm guessing that came off the 27 car.
I'm going to assume so, considering he was still sitting on his lid by the time I got switched back over to him. What happened here?
He caught that
Oh,
inside tire.
yeah, found the culprit. He hit a tire and lost a tire. You spoke about it at the beginning of the race. Yeah, them tires reach out and grab you. Um, and they do not mess around. Several dirt tracks on the sim run them. They are a very harsh reminder that you can definitely push the limits and boundaries, and they will push back if you push too far. And that's what happened to the 27 there. Fortunately, I believe that's going to be the day for him, battling for second.
Yep, no fast repairs in this league, I don't believe.
I do not believe either if they follow the same rules we run on Mondays. Speaking of Mondays, while we got the opportunity under the caution, getting closer to the playoffs, I know your team's looking forward to that, hopefully. I'm sure you got some guys in there that are maybe contending for the cut line.
They're pretty close. Tom is pretty close. Actually, Matt Moreau's had a pretty good run this season,
Yeah.
and he's managed to put together a couple good finishes. So hopefully he's right near that cut line as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully all goes well for you guys, but I'm still pulling for myself here. We're still on the cut line myself. But pace truck back to the safety of pit lane, and we are back under the green here out of turn number 4.
That 8 car Smith is just so strong on those restarts.
Yeah, he's able to really pull out to a gap early, and it really allows him to kind of just set in a rhythm. He don't have to battle super hard, really worry about overheating the tires. But that 64, he's a little closer on this restart. He got a better start that time than he did the last start, and doesn't have a contender on the bottom for him. So we got the yellow on the speedway once again. Looks like the 7 car. Oh, my bad. The 88. 88 around. What happened here? We have another culprit in the
Oh,
tire. Another
yep.
culprit in the tires, I believe. Oh, man. Well, he kept the wheel on that time. It's going to be some extensive repairs. He might can get back out there.
He almost like hit it dead center.
Yeah, I'd imagine you don't want to hit it, period. But if you had to choose, I'd imagine you'd rather center it up than take a tire off or knock one loose.
So I run a camera at my local track on Sundays, and we
Yeah.
had what we call the mini stock. So they're like the 1980s Mustangs running,
Mm-hmm.
and we had 2 guys get together. One came off and actually got stuck on top of the tire with none of his tires touching the track on Sunday.
I'd imagine you'd have to be pretty unfortunate for that to happen.
And it was hilarious to watch.
Yeah, down here, we don't run tires down here. The closest dirt track to me, obviously, out at Talladega on the Boulevard. Uh, don't really run tires on the bottom, but for the longest time, that track, no outside retaining wall in turn 1 and 2. They just now added it, I think, 2 seasons ago. We've had plenty of cars go off the track and tumble down into the parking lot. So, very treacherous track. Now, still missing the wall in turn 3, but back into the green this time. A little higher on the restart up there on the outside for the 8. Looks like he can definitely restart from either the high lane or the low lane now. Looks like he's got his issues figured out. With the 64 once again with a start that he's a lot closer again. I mean, he's getting these restarts down, and if it keeps coming down to restarts, you wonder if maybe he can time one of these.
Benson in that number 1 car was challenging firing for a little while on third, but he was trying it down on the bottom, and there's just nothing down there yet.
Yeah, and as these guys continue to run the top, somebody's going to have to make the decision to try to run down there to make up time, and that's where you could really see a battle kind of
Oh,
pop up unexpectedly, or you could see trouble. We've seen 2 cars go over the tires tonight so far.
and there
And
Tom Quiring comes around and brings out the next caution.
Tom, out of 3rd place, was running good. Had moved up from his qualifying position. My bad. No,
Oh,
he did. He's already 3rd. My bad.
oh, he got hard into the corner and had to lift and came around and then got collected.
So he will be in the pits for some repairs. Hopefully, get everything back straight. Yeah, and you mentioned a buddy of mine that commented. Obviously, he used to race dirt in real life. He raced super late models for a long time, toured with some people. He raced out in Missouri and everything. And he's kind of my coach when it comes to running dirt. And he, obviously coming from somebody who runs dirt a lot and somebody myself who doesn't, you talked about Tom jumping out of the gas there. That really, really is not something you want to do if you can help it. It upsets the car, one, and in a situation where, especially in the late models, where everybody runs super close in terms of real tight on each other, with that nose that are on the super late models, it can really get up underneath the rear of somebody and it's just going to spin you around. Much like it will with these cars, it'll just be a little bit more of a brunt impact than a lift. And with these cars, especially like you alluded to earlier with the open front end, it's an easy way to tear a wheel off and end your day early.
All right, green is out coming out of 4. Good started once again by the 8. And here comes that number 1 going to try to challenge Hunter Wellman down on the bottom. Ooh, he
Oh,
clips
he
that
flipped the
tire.
tire.
Little contact
He's
with the
keeping it
64.
straight. 64, again, closer to this restart, closest he's been on a restart since the initial. Would look for him to start experimenting around with some different lines. I mean, you can only follow the leader for so long until you have to start trying something to make up some time.
And moving up to 3rd is Fitz Barker and that 44 car. Up 4 positions from where he started.
Yeah, started P7 on the field.
Tom in that 46 car is still on the lead lap. He is challenging. He is coming back up right in the hunt of things for 5th.
Last time by for Jason Smith of 15.484. And if you go back to look at the second place car of Hunter Willeman, a 15.671. So maybe some handling coming into effect for 64, maybe just trying to experiment with some different lines, but about 2/10 slower. That time a 15.364 on the board for the leader that time. I believe that's the fastest lap of the race. I'm wrong. He ran a 15.1 on lap 3.
Ooh, that's quick.
15.1 flat, a 15.313 that time by. So the pace continuing to pick up while Hunter Willeman still running a 15.646. Don't know if he's got enough in the tank. You're coming to what's 8 to go this time by, I believe.
Yep, if we do have any cautions now, they will be single file restarts.
A little bit of a slower pace that time for the 8 machine, a 15.410. So he's kind of maybe back to pace off some, trying to keep a little bit of tire in it in case of a restart later. That time a 15.525. And it's really hard. You get a big lead like this, you kind of have to pace yourself because it's easy to want to out here and just run away with it and try to make a statement and get as big of a lead as you can, but you really have to take care of the tires and not use up all the good in case of a late race restart because you never know what can happen in maybe a 2 or 3 lap dash. A 15.458 that time by.
Ooh, he's flirting with that top of that flat spot on that top of that corner too.
He is. He's scaring me on entry, but he makes it work every time, so I ain't really alluded to it. I ain't going to try to give him the commentator genes, but it is a fine line he's walking for sure. And the pace picked back up the last 2 laps, that time of 15.587. So maybe just trying to manage a little bit of good in the tires in case we have something. Looks like we got a battle for 3rd. Starting to heat up here. Between the 44, Tom on the bottom of the 1. Almost gets into him there. Tom really working the bottom well here. Be surprised. Oh, and we've got a caution on the chart, maybe. Nope, he's going to keep it straight.
That was a lot of contact.
A lot of yeah. You think about maybe a wheel being bent. 27 tags the wall hard there. Tom will move up into 4th position now. Let's track down the 44 of Barker. Barker looking to be struggling maybe a little bit to find a line that really works for him. The 46, however, Tom he is rolling that bottom. We talked about it earlier in the race. If you can run that bottom consistently and you can run it, smooth enough, it is easy to make up time down there.
All right, that's going to do it for this one.
Not going to matter enough,
Wellman,
though.
and Barker.
Smith runs away with it, yep.
These gentlemen are going to get lined up, and then they're going to hop up in the booth with us. Hunter Wellman. He's gonna be he's got to be happy with the second place, but to be finishing second place this many times in that number 8 car gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, it does. You finish behind the same guy 2 or 3 weeks in a row, you really start to just kind of have a disdain for that man. Whether it's runner up or whether it's finishing fifth behind somebody in fourth, you really start to kind of develop a rivalry, just trying to beat them.
Yep. All right, we do have Mr. Barker up in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and grab him. He finished third this evening. Driver of that number 44 car. We got Mr. Barker. So, do you want to go by James or what do you go by?
I go by James, but my real
Okay.
name is Fitzhugh. Yeah. But yeah, I go by James.
Man, you had a good feature run tonight. You started back in the field, but you were able to pick up 4 spots and finish third.
Yeah, I know. I've actually really never touched these cars. I've never ran them before. This was like my first ever competitive race, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a blast doing it. I feel like I had a bunch of battles there in those last closing laps. It felt like they were all over me. I was trying to run as fast as laps as I possibly can, but yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Yeah. No, I'm a little shaken up. I was trying to get going, and those last little laps got me wild up.
Yeah, you had a really good battle there with the 46 and the 1 for a little while.
Yeah, if I could hear them coming. No, that was a lot of fun. I kind of just figured out that if you just survive and you know uh, kind of keep your car together and not hit those tires on the inside, you might finish well, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's right. This is another one of those leagues that is forced hardcore mode, so no mirrors in the cars.
Yeah, no, that was the first time I've ever had to deal with that. I think that's what got me all riled up, honestly. I think just hearing them on my like right behind my ear basically, it was pretty wild for sure.
Baron, do you have anything for Mr. Baker?
I mean, really, just you talked about the battle with the 46 there. My question is, obviously, with the two cars we saw tonight hit the tires and tear their equipment up, and the 46 really wrapping the bottom there towards the end, was there ever any thought to go to the bottom, or were those tires kind of a natural deterrent? You was just determined to plan it on the outside, and he's gonna have to go around you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I mean, I saw literally lap one, turn one. Somebody hit those tires on the inside right at the beginning, killed my car. I had to use my fast repair, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna run the bottom. I don't want to hit those tires. I'm gonna stick on the top and kind of figure it out. And I finally figured it out, and it worked out real well for me.
That it did, up 4 positions from the starting spot. We were watching your battle there towards the end as the leader had checked out, and I really thought Tom was going to get you if you had a few more laps, but really impressive run tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, congratulations. We got just a couple more weeks left in this season. Hope to see you back next week. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we cut you loose this evening?
Shout out to Big Fast, Jake Mackey. He's a good friend of mine. Benson, of course. Pretty much everybody. Y'all for hosting this. I appreciate y'all, and Tom for running the league. We've had a lot of fun doing this. So yeah, I appreciate all y'all basically.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you back in action.
Cool deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Driver of that 64 car, Mr. Hunter Wellman, second place again, sir.
Hey, how are y'all doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing great. We got a special guest with us up in the booth tonight, Mr. Farron Elam Jr.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm good. You were my pick to win after that second heat race. I was talking to Mick before the race started that I really felt you were able to wrap the bottom, probably the best in the field there, at least in the heats, and just felt you needed another few restarts there at the end. Maybe what kind of walk us through what you might have needed there to contend.
Yeah, Lucas Oil has always kind of been a struggle track for me. I went back in the past and watched some old races, and this is the first feature I've gone without wrecking myself. So tonight was an improvement for me. Just when these tracks get all slicked out, I start to struggle with it, and this is a track I've never really gotten the grip of. So I was decent in practice, and then we got into the heat. A couple of opportunities presented themselves, and I was able to take it to win the heat there. But once the feature rolled around, and Jason had the advantage on the start, just the inside line was much faster all night. Just, I'd fall back on the start a little bit, and then I'd already be behind the ball. And then Jason's just a much faster driver in these cars than I am, so I'd try to mirror his line, but I wouldn't get it exactly right. So I'd lose a tenth there, a tenth there. I'd try a different line, maybe to see if another place had more grip, and then I'd lose half a second there. So not a bad night for me. It's my eighth second place finish on the year, but I definitely could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, you've been solid, and it just we can't get that number 8 car to make a mistake.
No, he was on a rail tonight. He really likes this track. Every time I've raced with him here, he's always won the event, unless it was a sprint car or something he doesn't usually run. But he's been real fast all year, and just I'm not too good at this track. I've been getting better and better with my consistency in the car. The bigger tracks tend to play into my favor better. Port Royal and Volusia back to back really helped me out there, as I was right on his bumper, if not passing him, whenever he wouldn't show up, of course. But yeah, I'd been getting better and better. So coming to a track like Lucas Oil tonight, a track I'm not too good at or not too consistent at, I let him beat me.
Oh,
Well, an
looks like
impressive run nonetheless. Obviously, I know you wish to be one spot higher on the podium, but a podium nonetheless, and able to kind of show some improvement. You know, you mentioned it's not one of your better tracks. However, that last restart there at the end, thought you were close enough to maybe make something work. And I was talking to Mick as we were watching the laps wind down there, and a lap before I had said, or a lap after I had said, you know, you really got to start searching around, maybe find a line to pick up a few tenths. That you went to the bottom and lost 2 tenths, and I know that had to be frustrating for you, but still a good run nonetheless.
Yeah, once maybe about like lap 20-ish, I was focusing on points, and my goal was just to finish where I was. Yeah, I was experimenting with some lines to see if I could make something work, but yeah, I'm a points guy. I'm trying to fight for the championship, so to finish second, only lose a couple points isn't too bad of a night.
And then more importantly, keep all the wheels on it. We talked to Mr. Barker, the driver of the 44, before you, and we mentioned that everybody ran the high line for a good bit of the race after those two cars had clipped the tires, and he mentioned that for him that was a big deterrent to not go down there. And I don't know about yourself, but I'm sure in the back of y'all's heads out there, obviously watching two of your competitors absolutely destroy their car on them tires, you ain't exactly eager to run down there and be inches from it.
I kind of have the opposite problem here. A lot of my issues are out of turn two and out of turn four, just hopping over the berm and hitting the wall. I come from a go kart background. I race flat carts uh, in the Midwest and in the Northeast, and just I'm used to finding as much speed as I can on the bottom. So I was more comfortable down there. You saw me on the race, probably just trying there a few times. No one else really wasn't.
Mitch, you got anything for him?
no, sir. We do only have a couple races left this season, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how those last two play out. We're at Kern County Speedway next week, which is always a fun one.
Well, I'm definitely losing points next week. If y'all thought I struggled here, it's going to be a lot worse next week. So I'm going to have to put some practice laps in. And then that'll be my final race for the year. Next week or the week after would be my anniversary, so I will not be making Eldora. So hopefully I can use one of my drop weeks and build enough of a points lead to hopefully squeak away with the championship.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on your 8th P2 this season. We look forward to seeing you back next week at Kern, but hopefully you can scrounge out another decent finish.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night.
You too, buddy. All right, now for our race winner. Driver of the number 8 car, Mr. Jason Smith.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, buddy? That car was on a rail tonight.
Yeah, I felt good. I've got a few too many hours and too much time spent on studying Lucas Oil. It's just a track I've always liked, and I wish these cars ran here in real life, because I think I would put on for a heck of a show.
Well, it looked like you were very comfortable. It didn't really look like it mattered where you ran, whether you were up top right on that edge of that cushion or if you were down close to the tires.
Yeah, just got to be very intentional and precise here, and especially when you're running down low. That's not a fun game to be playing. I've threw away a lot of races, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, you talked about learning to not overstep on the bottom there. Two of your competitors tonight obviously learned that lesson very hard, and we alluded to it in the broadcast that towards the end of that race with about 10, 15 laps to go that maybe the 64 was going to start searching around some different lines to try to really close that gap because he had to do something. And then immediately after that, you turned a lap 2/10 faster than what you had been running. So was there ever really a point where a switch flipped and it was just, okay, it's time to push, or was it just let's manage the tires in case we have a restart at the end?
I mean, I think my tires were a little better off because I was running that low line, and I think he was getting in the slick a little bit more. I know he said he was having trouble over rotating, so I just kind of said, well, if I can just keep her on the lip in 3 and 4 and not overdrive her too hard into 1, and keep it as straight as possible, I should be able to still keep my right rear in check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really impressed. Sorry, Mitt, go ahead.
No, go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah, really impressive to keep it as consistent as you did. I was alluding to Mick that the dirt's really not my cup of tea. So to watch somebody come in here and drive these cars, really manhandle these cars the way that you did tonight, it's really impressive. Especially coming from somebody myself, I've only ran late models, and to see somebody be able to come out here and be as consistent as you was really impressive to watch. So great job on the win for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I get to deal with these cars every single weekend here in New York, so a little bit of a, I guess, home field advantage, so to speak. But yeah, believe it or not, I will say a lot of braking technique is very, very useful on dirt, believe it or not.
Yes, sir. And with the way your car was running tonight, you definitely had to figure out. You did have a little bit of a bobble right there on turn 1 at the green flag. It looked like the car just wanted to turn right, and you had to chase it for a little bit and cause a little bit of an accordion behind you.
Yeah, I was afraid of sliding up in 100. I thought I heard him enter at my door, so I kind of stabbed the brake a little too hard and it just kicked the rear end out of me. I don't think I would have necessarily lost it myself, but it jammed everybody behind me, so felt bad about that one.
Unfortunately, that tends to happen a lot on a lot of shorter dirt tracks where going into turn 1 is so important on that opening lap.
Yeah, it's got a really weird shape here, and it can be very deceiving if you're not right on the money with it.
Yes, sir. Well, it looks like you've got a pretty good run going in the points. We've only got 2 races left. Next week we're at Kern. How do you feel about Kern Raceway?
I have won at Kern quite a few times, had some good finishes. I don't believe I ever won anything official there as far as I remember, but I should get some more practice laps, 'cause honestly I haven't ran it all too much.
Alrighty, buddy. Well, congratulations on the win here again tonight. You've been pretty strong this whole season. I know I'm pretty sure Hunter's getting tired of finishing second.
I know he's got the points lead over me right now, and he just informed me too that he wasn't gonna be able to make Eldora, which is very, very sad, because I was looking forward to going back and forth with him there, because I know it's a track he likes, as far as I remember. Could be wrong on that, but yeah.
Well, congratulations once again on the win. Who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Thank you. J&J Virtual Motorsports, Wellman Misfits Racing, Ohio Valley Sim Sports, and Misfit Creations.
All right, buddy. We'll look forward to seeing you back next week. We've got to go jump into the Wheel and Modifieds and go turn some more laps.
Heck yeah, buddy. You two have a good night.
You too, sir. All right, Trent, that's going to do it for us. We got to go suit up and get ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up and go get the helmets off.